about. This is a guy who once joked right after the Columbine massacre that the killers should have the students before killing them. Not that I like that Stern, but this pendulum swing from saying the most tasteless thing in the universe to putting your balls in a Tic Tac container. You gotta wonder what's going on here. It's striking that the king of the most misogynistic humor ever now turns into a breathless over a progressive, hopelessly shallow candidate.
Greg Gutfeld slices into Howard Stern like a chef carving up a microwave steak. Once rare and raw, now bland and overcooked. The condition: if you build your empire on rebellion, you don't get to retire into respectability without catching heat. Gutfeld doesn't just roast Stern. He shows us what happens when a legend trades grit for grooming. It's not growth, it's surrender in a silk robe.
I will say this, Dagan. I thank God for Howard Stern because he does make me feel normal by comparison. Because I'm like the Fox recluse. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. But he makes me look like, you know, Pete Davidson on
Yeah, he's a germaphobe. Like, his wife rescues cats. That's her job, apparently, her thing. But you can get toxoplasmosis.
That's true.
Cryptosporidiosis.
AIDS. No, you can't, but...
You can't get...
Nobody performs media autopsies like Greg Gutfeld. And when the scalpel hits Howard Stern, the condition is clear. You don't get to sell out and still call yourself edgy. Stern, once the rebel king, now reads like he's got a diversity consultant in his ear. Gutfeld doesn't just tease the transformation. He drags it out under the spotlight, where the fear behind the facelift shows.
Radio show, Howard Stern defended wokeism, saying it's a compliment when someone calls him woke. Listen.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, well, dude, call me woke as you want. I'm not for stupidity, but I am woke, motherfucker, and I love it.
Oh dear, he swore. He swore that'll win over the woke. He's a regular Huey Newton of the Hamptons. Here's my theory. Wokeism is a contagion. Stern got it from Jimmy Kimmel, his new best friend, and Kimmel got it from his wife, and his wife got it from where you get all infections, the toilets.
Hit subscribe if you remember the real Howard Stern, the guy who didn't ask for permission, let alone approval. The condition: you can't rewrite your legacy once you've cashed in your edge. Somewhere between controversy and comfort, Stern got cozy. Now he's delivering hot takes like cold leftovers, lukewarm, risk-free, and pre-approved.
It's incredibly brave to take this stance after you've made $300, $400 million not being woke, right? Loving Donald Trump, exploiting the mentally ill, wearing blackface. Look at the crop of woke comics, whether it's Stern or Jimmy Kimmel, his BFF, Sarah Silverman, Joy Behar, Michael Ian Black. What do they all have in common? They wore blackface. And then they went woke. It's not a chicken or egg thing there. You know what order it came. So I call this BFR. It's blackface reparation.
Greg's laughing, but not because it's funny, because it's pathetic. The condition: you don't get to lead a revolution and then act shocked when someone else picks up your torch. Stern used to be outrage incarnate. Now he sounds like his scared H might walk in. It's like watching a pit bull purr for treats.
I watched them on Saturday Night Live with the where they have Maya Rudolph playing you. Mm-hmm. I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of.
Oh my God.
There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now. I mean, as America, land of the free, home of the brave, I think it's literally on the line.
So a guy who's supposed to be funny for a living now claims her candidacy.
This is the guy who once gave the FCC nightmares. Now he's a mouthpiece for Hollywood's groupthink. The shirt: you don't get to spit in the system's face for 30 years and then polish its boots without people noticing. Gutfeld's verdict is brutal. Stern didn't evolve, he evaporated. The punk's gone. All that's left is a press-ready puppet.
Stern got even more pathetic, wondering how she doesn't nap.
When you say you don't nap, I get it, because like what you've taken on is extraordinarily difficult. And I mean, do you feel the pressure of the moment in the sense that, like when I met you out in the hall, I said, I'm really nervous because I want this to go well for you. I want it to go well for the country.
Hold on. I need a minute.
Stern sounds like he gets briefed by PR representatives before every sentence. The studio. No longer chaos, it's calm, clinical, and curated. The condition. If you built your brand on being raw and real, don't expect applause when you trade that for safe and sterile. Gutfeld isn't mocking age, he's calling out fear dressed as maturity.
In Stern's previous career that could withstand this modern witch hunt that he now embraces. So this is a form of restitution. Maybe he says, you know, if I'm woke too, the crocodile will eat me last, but they always do eat. But I get it. He flipped from populist to elitist because now he's with elitists. He's living in the Hamptons. What would the Stern of now?
It's not about political correctness. It's about perks. The mansions, the awards, the applause from the same crowd he once trashed. The shirt. If you built an empire mocking the fragile, you don't get to preach sensitivity from a marble bathtub. Gutfeld unwraps the hypocrisy with surgical precision, and the truth underneath isn't pretty.
Right is insisting on free speech. They were the motherfuckers that were censoring everybody.
Right.
They wanted to lock Howard Stern up in jail.
I was on Howard Stern's show. He was great at that time, and then he went woke. And since he's gone woke, his ratings have gone down the tubes, and he sort of went anti-Trump for a couple of reasons.
They sued him. His parent company had to pay untold amounts of money. How much money did Howard Stern's company get fined? It was hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. Insane amounts of money. The government was trying to shut down.
Stern criticizing edgy comics is like a retired arsonist lecturing on fire safety. Gutfeld raises the obvious condition. If diaper races and sex calls built your brand, you don't get to clutch pearls at dark jokes. This isn't growth, it's a rebrand for people who never liked him in the first place.
You should hear what keeps him up at night.
This is what keeps me up at night. I don't understand how my fellow Americans, I don't even understand how this election is close. And yes, I'm voting for you, but I would also vote for that wall over there.
Well, he's half right. We do need a wall. You know, to keep out gang members, fentanyl dealers, human traffickers, and Anna Navarro.
Howard Stern changed the game, once. But the condition is this: if you set fires, don't expect credit for putting them out with a media consultant. Now Stern's cleaning up his past like it's campaign season. Gutfeld calls it legacy laundering. And the truth? Chaos made him a legend. Cleanup just makes him forgettable.
I always hate that argument, like, what happened to the old Stern, or what people have changed. That's not what this is about. It's a weird disconnect.
Well,
What?
he hasn't changed.
No.
People have been calling him insane for 40 years.
Yeah,
That just used to be, this guy's nuts. And now they're like, well, we're worried about Howard. He needs help.
Imagine a 90s punk band playing acoustic covers at a Whole Foods wine tasting. That's modern-day Stern. And the chart. You don't get standing ovations for behaving when your whole career was built on breaking rules. Gutfeld isn't just roasting, he's mourning what used to be fearless.
But Stern being holed up in his house that long, it explains a lot of things. Like how you forget how other people live, especially in hard times like a pandemic. For the longest time, 2 years in fact, the same time Stern's been AWOL, I wondered where he went. Not physically, but mentally. I bet you did too. Remember his screeds about COVID? They were epic and angry, and not to mention wrong.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated. F them, their freedom. I want my freedom.
These days, Stern sounds like his lines are vetted by a therapist and a lawyer. Gutfeld puts it plainly, this isn't evolution, it's betrayal. The same guy who called out celebrity fakery now throws dinner parties for it. The condition: you can't rewrite your script when the old tapes still exist, and they're louder, rawer, and realer than the PR approved.